Hello and welcome, I'm your codemaking, and Unity 6.4 is now available. This is their latest release, so let's see what's new in it. And importantly is how this is a supported release. In case you don't know, they recently changed how they handle their Unity versions. Now we've got LTS releases, and in between those we've got supported releases. So the current LTS version is still in 6.3, but now we've got 6.4, this is a supported release. And supported basically means that it receives the same level of support as an LTS until next release is published. So this version should be pretty stable, pretty much just as stable as an LTS. The only thing is how it's only being supported until 6.5 comes out. So it's up to you to decide if you need any of these features, and if so, then you can upgrade to 6.4, and then eventually 6.5 and so on. Or alternatively, if you don't need any of these features, you can just stick with 6.3. You can already go into your Unity hub, go onto installs, install the editor, and if over here you can see 6.4 is actually their recommended version. So for the features themselves, this one actually has quite a lot of interesting things. Not necessarily many big changes right now, but definitely this is a release that is definitely preparing Unity for the future. For example, this one right here, which is how ECS is now a core package. Meaning Dots, the awesome Unity tool stack that allows you to make games that run insanely fast. This one, until right now, this one has been a separate package that you need to install. But since Unity is on track to basically integrating both game objects and ECS entities, in order to achieve that, that means that entities will obviously be very core of the engine. So to prepare for this merging that will happen sometime in the future, for that right now they are making it a core package, meaning you don't need to install it. As soon as you install the Unity editor, it already comes with entities pre-installed. So in technical terms, this one isn't really a big change. It's really just being integrated into the engine as opposed to being an external package. But like it says here, so this setup helps us work towards implementing ECS for Unity, allowing the development of the engine and ECS together. This is part of a series of planned engine updates for cohesive engine experience, combining core CLR, serialization modernization, and full entities integration. So you have a very clear next step to how they are achieving the future of Unity. In their recent product update, they posted this slide. And over here we can see all the various iterations, and we're basically over here on 6.4, where entities now becomes a core of the engine to prepare for the future for all of these updates to eventually have the full entities integration. I have my own course on Unity Dots if you want to learn about this super awesome tool stack. Then beyond that, another interesting thing is how the Project Auditor is now built in by default, meaning this one also is not an external package. As soon as you install the editor, you're going to get this by default. It's actually a really interesting package. I don't know if you know about this. Personally, I do know about it, but I haven't yet used it myself. This is a tool that basically analyzes your entire project in order to find some potential issues. So it tries to locate code issues, asset issues, project settings issues, and build reports insights. So it really just gives you a nice report with all of these potential fixes. Then if you agree with those fixes, you can pretty much just one click and fix them all. So it's definitely a very interesting tool to get very much a quick sanity check on the entire health of your project. This is an extremely interesting, a very useful tool. It's something that I've had on my to-do list to make a dedicated video for quite some time. And now that it's a core patch, I'm definitely going to do it. So this is another change in this version that isn't really much of a technical change. It is really just a tool that already exists that is already excellent. Instead of being an external package, now it's just built in directly in the editor. I think that's a good thing because, like I said, this tool seems insanely useful, especially for beginners. And if you don't even know the package exists, you are not going to install it. But if it already comes with the engine, if it's just a new menu, if so, then people might actually stumble upon it by accident. Then they will be able to see, oh, the engine actually has something that is super useful. You just go into Window, then go down into Analysis, and then here it is, the Project Auditor. And if it's this window right here, like I said, I'm going to be making a full dedicated tutorial on this. But for the most part, I think it is pretty straightforward. Now in this case, I created a completely empty 6.4 project just to try out the new version. So I'm guessing this one isn't really going to show anything. But you would basically just click on Start Analysis and it would show you all kinds of potential issues with your project. Then this version 4.2D actually has something that I think is a pretty big update, which is custom rendering and post-processing. So basically, if your project is using URP, you can now customize and extend the rendering process in a 2D project. I don't think this was possible previously. So if you want to do some very clever, complex rendering stuff, if so, now you can do it. This is especially useful if you want to make some real interesting post-processing effects. You can just create a new custom render pass and make your project look all kinds of weird. Now the simple thing is how you can now create sprite atlases at runtime. I think this is actually going to be a really excellent thing, especially for modding. In case you don't know, a sprite atlas is basically this. It's basically how you've got just one texture that contains all the frames of animation or all the frames of different images. The way that helps is basically if everything is just on one texture, then you can have tons of objects using that same texture, and it all runs on just one draw call. But if you're doing something, for example, like modding, if so, then the player is basically importing their own texture into it. And since that texture happens after the game has already been built, you can't really make an atlas of the main game itself and the actual modded texture. That used to be a limitation, but now since you can't create sprite atlases at runtime, because hopefully that means that games with 2D sprites can be able to support modding or really just adding sprites after the fact. And you can just create the sprite atlas as soon as the game runs, and that way you can support many more things whilst having a very performant game. Another update on this one is how they've redesigned the rendering statistics window. This will now basically display some more useful metrics for analyzing the render complexity of the scene in play mode. That's a window that when you go over here on the game view, over here you click on stats and here it is. This used to be insanely simple, and now it actually has quite a bit more detail. Again, this is a completely empty project, but we can see all kinds of numbers here. So we've got the frame rate, of course, then you've got the frame time, both on the CPU and the GPU. We can see triangles, vertices, all the draw calls, all these kind of stuff. We can see the allocated memory, graphics memory, some animation stuff, and a really nice, helpful button to just open the profile. So yep, it's a simple, nice quality of life improvement. Another thing that also changed was the render pipeline converter. So that's a tool if you go into Window, then go into Rendering, and over here you've got the render pipeline converter. Basically, if you buy any assets that were built using the built-in render pipeline, which is going to be deprecated in the future. So if you buy those, you are probably going to want to upgrade those materials, those shares into URP. And if so, then this tool is now a little bit better. You can see the source pipeline, the target pipeline. In terms of behavior, it should do basically the same thing. Then a really simple but a really useful one is this one over here on the input system. Basically, the on-mouse behavior now works with the input system package. This is something that was not supported. I just recently made a video on how to convert from the input manager into the input system. The input manager is another thing that is going to be deprecated sometime in the future. And this one I showed this cheat sheet on how you can basically update from the input manager onto the input system. But one thing that I did talk about was how those things, the on-mouse down, on-mouse enter and so on, how those did not work. But thankfully now they've updated that. So now it should be very easy to upgrade from the input manager onto the input system without losing anything. Then on version 6.4, they did something that I didn't actually think was technically possible. So basically on the web platform, they enabled multithreading for burst compiled jobs. I had no idea this was even possible to do on Unity web builds, but apparently it is. So you can use the burst compiler, which is something that makes your code insanely fast whilst following a specific set of rules. Again, burst is one of the various components of Dot, so if you want to learn about Dot, check out my free course on it. And apparently, yeah, you can enable multithreading with burst on the web. Like I said, I thought this wasn't even technically possible, so I'm very curious to see how well does this work. So I really want to make a video kind of like a comparison, trying to use burst on a PC and trying to use burst on the web, and trying to see just how good it actually is. I don't expect it to be as good as something native, but who knows, maybe it is actually generally very good. And then apparently you can now create graph tools with the Unity Graph Toolkit. Now this one I'm actually not entirely sure what this update is, because as far as I know the Graph Toolkit has existed for quite a while. I haven't used it yet, but I think the big thing is how you can now extend the editor with the Graph Toolkit. This is a really awesome tool that allows you to build tools like this, so kind of like graphs where you can connect things. It is really useful if you want to make some really nice internal tools, things like behavior trees and so on. Yep, this is really great. It's basically shadow graph, but you can build your own. Then for some more things, you've got adaptive performance. This one now works on consoles. It now supports basically all of these platforms. This tool basically automatically adjusts some settings in your game in order to stay everything nice and performant. So it's constantly checking for the thermal state, so temperature, CPU, GPU, bottlenecks, and so on. And you've got a bunch more improvements, so evaluate entry transitions for a state machine on the animation system. You've got build profile UI improvements, dynamic overlay panels, improved grid and step workflow, and a bunch more things. You can preview mesh LOD meshes and transitions. The URP compatibility mode, that one is fully removed. There are improved render graph samples. You can now disable the physics modules to reduce the build size. Terrain layers with drag and drop support. UI Toolkit also with drag and drop UXML support. So yep, a bunch of things in this release. Oh no, definitely not a flashy release, no new big features. Really just a ton of nice, solid quality of life improvements. And importantly, some big changes preparing Unity for the future. So lately, I would say they've been following a strategy that people have been asking for a long time, which is basically stop doing these massive things, releasing some undercooked packages, instead of really just focus on small, iterative quality of life improvements. That has been the strategy, and I think it is working out quite nicely. The engine gets a tiny bit better every release, and things are being prepared so that in the future, on version 6.7 or 6.8, things are going to get a massive improvement as we merge the render pipelines, as we merge ECS and game objects, as we get core CLR implemented. So they're definitely taking all these tiny steps to eventually reach a really awesome future, and I'm really excited about that future. By the way, the Asset Store is currently running a really awesome sale. It's a bundle collection sale. So you've got all kinds of things that are already bundles, meaning they're already discounted by default, and on top of that, you can get an extra 50% off. So you can definitely get a ton of really awesome stuff for a real low price. For example, for post-processing, here you can get about a dozen post-processing effects for just $10. You've got glitches, VHS, and all kinds of effects. Then the all-in-one bundle. I definitely recommend all of these assets, so just one bundle is a great pickup. Or if you just want visuals, here's a bundle with 120 sprite effects for just $30. Or for something realistic, you've got 10 huge packs of awesome realistic assets for just $35. Or if you want to be really productive, you can get all of these awesome editor tools. Each of these individually is great, so in this bundle, it's a great deal. As you can see, tons of awesome stuff, and if you do the math, these are probably something like 90% off. So check it out with the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.